Hello, my name is John Rose, and in this video I'd like to take a closer look at why some people who eat cooked food burn so easily when they get sunshine. Now, I already know what a lot of people are going to say. Well, we know the answer already, John. They're just fair-skinned. Well, of course they're fair-skinned. The further we go from the equator, the lighter we become. Now, why is that? Well, it's by design for a reason, and that's because virtually every cell in our body needs vitamin D, and we get it from the sunshine by being exposed to the sun daily. And if we're going from the equator, we're not getting as much sun, so we have to make sure we absorb it easier. So we reduce the melanin bodies in our skin. That's why people of darker color need to get a whole lot more sunlight than whiter people do to get their vitamin D. And that's why it's very epidemic in the black community especially, because they don't want to get darker. Many of them, that's how they feel. They want to be white, lighter, whatever. Same thing happens with the Hispanic community. They don't want to get out in the sun. They want to appear whiter. That's the stupid image we're brainwashed with somehow. White is good, black is bad, right? Isn't that an odd thing to come up with? But nonetheless, we have some people, even though they're fair-skinned, they can get sunlight. Why can't some? Well, there's a reason for that. And it has everything to do with the fact that our tan, or the color of our skin, is not just based on the melanin bodies in the skin, but it's also based on the reflection from the light, or from the light in the bloodstream, or reflection of the light from the bloodstream. And what happens with most of us when we're eating cooked food, our bloodstream's not very clean. That's why you hear people all the time who adopt a raw food diet, a raw vegan diet, they go, wow, I went out in the sun for the first time in my life and I didn't burn. Why is that? It's because it's not just the melanin bodies, it's coming from the reflection of the blood from, a reflection of the light from the bloodstream. It's a reflection of our blood. Our blood is polluted because our food is unnatural. So this is why so many people burn. Now, burning is good. Part of our feedback system, remember? We need adequate amounts of sunshine. When we get too much, what happens? We have a built-in mechanism. Remember, pleasure and pain. That's what the sunburn is for. So, sun tanning good, sunburning bad. Does it cause damage? Of course it does, but that's not the problem with skin cancer. Skin cancer doesn't come from something natural like the sunlight that's beaming in my face right now. It comes from things that are unnatural. It comes from toxic blood, toxic tissues. Skin cancer does not stem from sunshine, it stems from toxic cells. The sunshine is pulling the internal crap to the surface where it can be eliminated and dealt with easier. Think about it. Skin cancer increased when we started using sunscreen, and most or half of the melanomas occur in places where the sun doesn't shine. On the buttocks, on soles of the feet. How are they getting skin cancer there? It has nothing to do with the sunshine. If you smoke a lot of cigarettes and you don't get sunshine, guess what's going to happen? You'll probably have lung cancer, esophageal cancer. But if you smoke cigarettes and get a lot of sunshine, then you're more apt to get the skin cancer because the toxins will pull to the surface. So should you use sunscreen? Well, be careful. There's some good products out there, but the vast majority of them are poisons, and that's what's causing the skin cancer. I got a lot of sun when I played competitive tennis, and I couldn't stand wearing a shirt in 100-degree weather and 100% humidity because you're sweating all over the place and it's sopping wet. So I went shirtless the whole time. I can't stand wearing a shirt when it's hot and I'm sweating. It doesn't make sense. And we're not supposed to. There's other benefits to sunlight because it actually helps our capillaries. But the point here is that all my friends were slapping on the sunscreen everywhere, and I didn't want to do that, but I did put it in two places. The sides of my eyes, to avoid those crow eyes, remember? And my nose would get burned a little bit now and then, so I'd put a little on that to keep it from burning. And what's interesting is, on my face, I developed some brown spots where I put that sunscreen at. In fact, I'll never forget the first time I was on the Deborah Duncan show. I was put on there against this nutritionist that was really obnoxious. And best thing that could happen, because she wouldn't let me talk, and everyone called in and said, please put this guy back on again. Within a month I was back on again, within 3 weeks, but I developed a big old mole on the side of my face. Came out of nowhere. Came out of nowhere, right? Just fell out of the sky. But it was so big I couldn't even shave. But I realized what it was. I knew that there were stages of disease, and the natural hygienist called the 7th stage fungation, which is where the body starts to create tumors and protein traps to protect the body. And I knew that sunshine is healing. That's not bad. So I didn't avoid the sun. I got even more sun. And then I applied a little tea tree oil on that little mole that came out of nowhere. And guess what happened? It disappeared. Now, did I need the tea tree oil? No, but I'm sure it helped make it go faster, because I had a few of those others on my back. I had a couple come up out of nowhere, and they just disappeared. So it's the body trying to heal itself, get rid of those toxins. So skin cancer is not about the sunshine. It's about what you're putting in your body. It's what you're putting on top of your body. I'm telling you, folks, why are we accepting explanations from people who are supposed to be our experts when they don't have any solutions? I wish people would stop and think about that for a moment. They don't know what causes heart disease or cancer, and their solutions aren't working, but yet we still accept their explanations. But it's not your fault. Keep doing what you're doing. We know you wouldn't change it. We told you. That's why we don't tell you. Now, you don't even know. Our so-called experts have been misdirected. That's why we think sunshine causes skin cancer, but it's not. And remember, if you burn too easily, if you're eating cooked food, do an experiment. Try eating a raw food diet. And good luck, because it's not easy to change what we've been eating for so many years. That's why a solid food vacation is the simplest way to do this, my friends. I've coached a lot of people, and a lot of people are doing this right now, so read the comments on my YouTube channel. Go to as many videos as you can, and you'll read people doing a solid food vacation, a juice fast. And the results are amazing. Now, is this a challenge for a lot of us? Yes. Do you end up getting up in the middle of the night and urinating a lot sometimes? Yes, that can happen. Does it take a lot of time? Yes. And if you're the type of personality that just can't deal with that, there's a way around that. Obviously, we want to get a good yield for our juice, and we want to get a good quality of our juice. But if it's too laborious and we don't have time to fit it in, and we haven't seen the benefits and time benefited by spending that hour, oh, I'm 2 hours, I'm more productive, I wake up earlier 2 hours. If you don't see that, or that's not happening yet, go ahead and get you like a Breville machine. It spins really fast. You can stick a whole dang thing of celery in at one time, and boom, it's gone. So you can be in and out in a flash. I coached a Marine a while back, and he went for the Green Star, and I knew his personality. He was a high red personality, a lot of physical energy. He wants to do things quickly. Doesn't have time to sit there and patiently wait for that carrot to go through a Green Star. Grab a Breville. So keep that in mind. We have to be practical. If we can't pull off a solid food vacation for certain obstacles, we can work around that. It's going to be less than ideal. But I remember when I coached a woman that had hepatitis C for over 20 years. And had great insurance and had done every medical protocol out there, interferon, you name it. And she does a juice fast with me for 30 days and did coffee enemas, because this has to do with the liver. And she started out with a Green Star. And she really struggled with that machine, as a lot of women do, because it does take a little bit of elbow grease. But it is very time consuming also. So she went to the Breville, and she was still able to, in 30 days, be completely healed of hepatitis C. No more elevated liver enzymes. Where's the virus? Oh, come on, man. The virus is dead genetic debris. We're damaging our body. When it comes to hepatitis C, every person I've ever worked with has had some association with drugs, especially alcohol, the worst of all, drugs. If you're going to do that thing, boy, you better make sure you're doing everything else right and keep it to a minimum. Because it's not what we do occasionally that gets us in trouble, it's what we do daily. So what's happening with people with hepatitis C is day in, day out, they're bombarding their body with too many toxins. And that will catch up with you. There's no future in that. Remember, everything we do affects us, and those effects accumulate. So if you're going to be accumulating negative effects, you don't want to do it very often. If you don't do it very often, it probably won't be that big of a deal. But it's a slippery slope. If we indulge in it, there's a good chance we might get hooked into it. So what's the solution for that? We have to realize there's better ways of dealing with the stressful life we live in. The best way is to not be irritated internally. That's what the solid food vacation can do for you. That's what the raw food diet can do for you. And then to help you deal with the stress, you got to get active. You got to get some sunshine. Go exercise in the woods, because when you're in the woods, you're not just exercising your body, you're exercising your mind. You're freeing your mind. You're connecting with nature. And when you're doing a solid food vacation, you're going to be more connected than ever before. If you thought you were now, wait till you start doing this. I'm telling you, my friends, when you bump up those biophotons, you're in for a treat.